Efraim Halevy is espionage royalty. The former head of Mossad, Israel's renowned and ruthless intelligence agency, confidant to prime ministers, presidents, and even Arab leaders for half a century, few understand the Middle East better than this understated Englishman. As the region reels from the October the 7th attacks and its aftermath, Efraim Halevy has exclusively agreed to share his insights into Israeli tactics, Hamas's evolution, and why it's time to move the chess pieces around. You were cautious about Israel going into Gaza. Now that they're there, what do you think the next step should be?
The moment that we're speaking, we're in Gaza City, we've surrounded it. If we end the war without having a clear-cut victory over Hamas, and without apprehending their leader, Sinwar, and killing him, we will not have won the war. What we call the maneuver. There is a definition to this. And the definition is that you have fought in such a way that ultimately you bring the other side to a point where he has no longer a will to fight. And that's why we have to carry on as long as we can in order for them to raise the white flag.
This maneuver that you talk about is taking a terrible toll on Gazans.
I would say to the people of Gaza that it's your fault that you have played host to this group.
The action Israel's taking to try and root out Hamas is going to build up a whole other generation of hatred towards Israel.
We cannot contemplate anything else at the moment, unless we are able to break the back of Hamas. And then, of course, the hostages, hopefully in a situation like this, will be freed by their captors. That could happen, but something worse could happen as well that I'm aware of. But we have very few options here.
It was a botched assassination attempt on a Hamas leader, Khalid Mashal, in Jordan in 1997 that led to Efraim Halevy taking over Mossad, using his personal relationship with King Hussein to avert a full-blown crisis. Back then, he thought Hamas just might be people Israel could try doing business with. That was then.
And I think that Hamas today is not the Hamas it was then. And the people who led the Hamas were all people who had been in Israeli jails and who were released in a big swap of over 1,000 prisoners for one Israeli soldier. And this was an act committed by Prime Minister Netanyahu. And it was a mistake, I think, a very big mistake. Now, most of the people who were commanding this operation, including Yahya Sinwar, he was one of those who were released from an Israeli jail. He spoke good Hebrew. He understood a lot about Israel's society. So what I'm trying to say is that Israel has neglected several opportunities of putting Hamas's alternative policies to the test. This is no longer, what I'm telling you, is no longer operative. After what happened a month ago, after the assault in the south, this was sheer, brutal terrorism of the worst kind.
In some ways, do you think we're maybe sort of reaching rock bottom, and from this there could be an opportunity that emerges to reframe the conflict, to move towards something more peaceful?
Yes. But this would need, I think, a more comprehensive approach to the Palestinian cause at large.
An approach, Halevi says, that would benefit from new leadership in both Israel and the Palestinian Authority.
And once that happens, we can begin a different approach to what is on the chessboard and see how you can move the various players in a manner which would bring us in the right direction.
Is it naive to still talk about peace and a peace plan? Do you think it could still be attainable or not?
We don't have the luxury to wait. We have to have a viable policy which will deal with the presence in this area of the Jews and the Palestinians. And we are doomed to live together. I don't want to say we are doomed to die together. And if our approach is that we are doomed to live together, we can't simply live together with one part of the equation having the upper hand and ignoring the aspirations of the other side. There has to be in the beginning of a meeting of minds. It will not be easy. There'll be a lot of opposition. It will not be simple. We need a lot of creativity. But that's what we are here for.